The river of lost dreams. They said the river sang at night, not with music, but with the faint whispers of forgotten voices, the sighs of dreams left behind. No maps marked its waters. No village claimed its banks. It existed only in the in-between, where dusk held the hand of dawn, where silence folded into sound. And it was here a lone traveler stood, lantern dim, boat waiting. He had carried the weight of his regrets too long. Tonight, he would follow the current. Tonight, he would search for the dream he once abandoned, the journey. The boat creaked as it drifted away from shore, the water black as spilled ink. The river did not flow straight. It bent, curled, and twisted like memory itself, carrying fragments of forgotten hopes. The traveler dipped his hand in the current. Tiny lights swirled beneath his palm, dreams of others, a dancer's final bow, a child's unwritten song, a promise whispered but never kept. He felt both awe and sorrow. How many had given up before they were ready? The first encounter, the gate of fear. Mist rose ahead, and from it a figure emerged, tall, cloaked in shadows, eyes like hollow lanterns. The guardian of fear stood on the water as though it were stone. "You cannot pass," it said, voice deep as thunder. "To reclaim what was lost, you must name the fear that made you release it." The traveler's throat tightened. He remembered the night he turned away from his dream, the dream of becoming a maker of stories, a weaver of words that could touch hearts. He had stopped because he feared failure, that his words would be shallow, that silence would follow. "My fear," he whispered, "was that I was never enough." The guardian raised its lantern eyes. The mist parted, and the river carried him forward. Fear did not vanish, but it had been spoken, and that was enough. The second encounter, the Isle of Clinging. The river widened. In the distance, an island appeared, chained by roots that coiled like desperate hands. Upon it sat figures carved from clay. Each clutched objects to their chest, a broken harp, a faded crown, a crumbled letter. One clay figure stepped forward. Its voice cracked like dry earth. "We are the ones who could not let go. We guard the dream you seek. Tell us, why should you hold what you once abandoned?" The traveler looked at the clay figures. They had crumbled from clinging too long. He felt the ache in his own chest. The years he had carried the thought of his dream, not to live it, but to mourn it. "I do not wish to clutch it," he said softly. "I wish to honor it and release what chains me to it." The clay figures trembled, and the roots loosened. The island sank gently back into the river, dissolving into ripples. The traveler's boat carried him onward, his heart lighter, yet still uncertain. The third encounter, the mirror currents. The river narrowed, its waters turning to glass. Every paddle stroke shattered reflections of him, of his choices. He saw himself as a boy, burning with imagination. He saw himself as a young man, hiding his writings, fearing ridicule. He saw himself as he was now, older, weary, lantern dim, seeking what once was. And then the river showed him another reflection, a version of himself who had not given up. This reflection spoke. Its lips did not move, but he felt the words inside him. Every choice builds the river. You cannot step back into the same waters. What you lost was not the dream, but the version of you who dreamt it. Tears welled in his eyes. He had not been searching for the dream itself, but for the part of himself who still believed. The water rippled, breaking the reflection, and the river carried him to its end. The river opened into a vast, still lake, silent as the breath before dawn. At its center floated a single ember, glowing red, fragile but alive. The traveler reached for it, and as his fingers closed, he understood. This ember was his dream, not as it was, but as memory held it. To carry it back would mean to remain chained to the pain of losing it. He held the ember close. It warmed him. It whispered of nights spent writing, of mornings filled with hope, of the joy of creating for no one but himself. And then, with a trembling breath, he released it. The ember drifted upward, rose into the sky, and became a star. The lake shimmered, and for the first time, the traveler felt light. Not because he had reclaimed the dream, but because he had learned to let it go. The boat carried him back to shore. Dawn had arrived. The traveler stepped onto the earth, lantern extinguished, but heart alight. The river still whispered, carrying away the weight of others. But for him, the lesson was clear. Dreams do not die when we abandon them. They transform. They wait for us to see that what we sought was never outside us, but within. He walked on, and above him, a new star burned quietly in the sky, a reminder not of what was lost, but of what he had found. Peace does not come from reclaiming what slipped away, but from releasing the hand that clings to it, and learning at last to walk unburdened.